Right, welcome to the stream. It's a while since I've done this, seeing as I died before the end of season 2. So I'll probably be a bit rusty. If I remember right, this is one of the few scenarios in season 2 that I actually did okay at. So what can possibly go wrong? Hello. Yeah, right, so you caught me just in the middle of setup. So I've got my MiniChaos deck. What I had forgotten to do in the Arkham DB deck is draw a random basic weakness. I did that just before I started and I have Chronophobia. I'll leave this face up to remind me to shuffle. So now I have all my cards out ready for setup. I've never played any of these, the Return to Dunnitches, so this is going to be a blind playthrough and it's a Chaos deck. Okay, so first things first, I have replaced the village commons with the return version of the village commons, which goes into play. Then I need to randomize my selection of locations, don't I? So we have Bishop's Brook, Burned Ruins, Osborne General Store, Congregational Church, House in the Reeds, and the Schoolhouse. These are my I've had a mental blot now. Yeah, they're the originals? No, they're the new ones. They're the return ones. So then we have House in the Reeds, Congregational Church, Schoolhouse, Congregational Church, Osborne General Store, Burned Ruins, Bishop's Brook. So basically we have to do some randomization to pick one of the three. Confusingly, it tells you to remove one at random and then choose one of the 6. Oh, okay, I'm confused now. Right, okay, so we're removing, basically I'm removing 2 at random, aren't I? It's just, they've tried to word it so it fits in with the original instructions as well, so that you only have 2. So, for each of the 6, I'm just going to roll a dice and I'm going to shuffle each one, so I don't know which is which. And then I'll roll a dice, and then a 1 and a 2 we'll use the top one, a 3 and a 4 we'll use the middle one, and a 5 and a 6 we will use the bottom one. So even if my shuffling is awful, the dice should at least... Right, Bishop's Brook, that's a 1, so we'll use the top one. Burned Ruins, that's a 3, so we're using the middle one. Osborne General Store, that's a 3 as well, so we'll use the middle one. Congregational Church, that's a 6, so we'll use the bottom one. House in the Reeds, again that's a 5, so that's the bottom one. And Schoolhouse is a 1, so we'll use the top one. So these will go away. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these goes away, and the one that goes away is number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Burned Ruins. Okay, so that's our locations, suitably randomized. I'll just refer to my crappy, cheap Amazon tablet that I use purely for game manuals. Where's the layout? So it's Bishop's Brooks at the bottom, Commons in the middle, Store on the right, Schoolhouse top right, House in the Reeds top left, Congregational Church on the left. If I remember right, it's a one-way path through the middle. And then everything else is sort of a circle. I might have that wrong. I think there's a triangle here, if I remember right. So Bishop's Brook is connected to circle, triangle and plus. And Schoolhouse is connected to plus, wiggle and circle. Yeah. There's a triangle going on here as well. But these two are only connected in like that loop. Okay. Yeah, so done the locations. We have our kidnap pile. According to the standalone instructions, we use all 5. So that's Armitage, Morgan, Rice, Watley and Sawyer. So I shall shuffle those. That's our sacrifice pile. Is there anything else I have to do as part of the setup? When placing encounter cards, do not use Naomi's crew. And if the Abanian gang has a bone to pick, well, the standalone instructions say the Abanian gang does not have a bone to pick, so we don't have Naomi's crew or the hired guns in the game. Where's my pile of stuff? Here. What do I do with the hired guns? Who knows? What have we done with the rest of the return setup? There it is. So the return setup is just the 2 hired guns, so they are out of the game. So I think I'm done in terms of the randomisation. In terms of my encounter sets, as per the instructions, I have Blood on the Altar, I have Dunwich, I have Whippoorwills, I have Night Gaunts, and I've swapped Ancient Evils for Resurgent Evils. Oh, and also I have my Chaos bag laid out here. I can't bother to read it all out, but I've used the standalone standard as instructed. Okay, so let's assemble the bag. Right, next, set aside out of play. Silas Bishop, Hidden Chamber, Key to the Chamber. And these all should either and shuffle in with the encounter deck. Oh, the Powder Ibn Nazi. That then. I don't think we need it in this scenario. It should be ward at the end if I remember right. If I've got that wrong, I may have a problem. If I remember right, when I played this last time, was I playing with Rita? No. Yeah, I was playing with Rita, wasn't I, in season 2? No, this was season 1. Wow. And I've got my ornate bow at this point, so Silas Bishop was literally a 2-hit kill with the silent bow. Might be a little bit more trouble this time. Okay, right, so encounter deck. So now we take these 2. Silas stays set aside, and top 3. Shuffle them and randomly deal 1 card face down underneath each location in play except village commons. I'm going to use the dice again to randomise the layout. So, starting there, number 1 round to number 5. So the first location goes under number 5. Now we've got 1 to 4. That's a 5. 1 to 4. That's a 6. 1 to 4. That's a 1. Second one, 1, 2, 3 now. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then lastly we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Which means you get to go there. Okay, I don't think I need the dice anymore. Right, I need to shuffle my own deck now. Chaos will now ensue. And I think right, we all start at village commons even. Each investigator wins play village commons. So like I said, I haven't practiced this. I've never played a return to Dunwich scenario full stop. It's gonna go badly. I have a headache, I have cat allergies, so I'm all fuzzy headed, so just laying out my excuses in advance. Right, opening hand. 1, weakness straight away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I shuffle this deck? Did I shuffle this deck? That's 2 improvised weapons, bury them deep, a meat cleaver and a trench knife. Okay, so I think I keep the meat cleaver. Bury them deep. Maybe worth it for the victory point. Maybe. And I'll keep 1 of the improvised weapons, I think. No, I don't think I'm going to bother with the improvised weapon. I've got my meat cleaver now. I think they would be handier if I didn't have my weapon up front. Ideally, I want my cornered, I think. Anyway, 3 more then. 1, last chance. 2, manual dexterity. 3, a lantern. Okay, I've never used the lantern before. So that's my opening hand. Bury them deep, meat cleaver, lantern, dexterity, last chance. Shuffle these back into my deck. Let's just spread them out and shuffle them back together into the same spot. You can see everything alright, there's a bit of glare there. I'll shuffle around in a sec. Whoop. All the cards to reveal, then it was graveyard ghouls. I'll keep shuffling. I'll do a mash. Right, let's sort this out a little bit. Let's make out a deck. There's the act. There's the agenda. Strange disappearances. There's the act. This always helps to get those the right way around, eh? A scenario card. I'll bring that down here to save me leaning over. Move these up a bit. Okay, let's do this. Village Commons reveal. Shroud of 3. Each investigator cannot take draw or resource actions. Okay. Resigning this is suicide, we're better off hiding out the night. Make a little bit more room. Right, so I think my plan is going to be, as it was last time, just to go out and do a clockwise sweep of the locations, finishing back in the middle if we don't find anything worth finding. But first of all, I guess I ought to tool up. So I think I'm going to spend all of my locations in my first all of my resources in my first 2 actions, 3 and a 2, to play Meat Cleaver and Lantern, which leaves me Last Chance, Manual Dexterity and Bury Them Deep. And then for my 3rd action I am just going to move to Bishop's Brook. Then at least I get. Right, so this is one of the originals. Each enemy at Bishop's Brook deals 1 horror while it's attacking. And if there are no clues here, draw the encounter card underneath. Well, there are. We have 2 clues to discover on the next turn. This week's copy. So yes, I'm not even keeping up with my tracker. 3 actions taken. Right, no enemies in play. Nothing to ready. Doom on the agenda. 1 of 6. Draw an encounter. Servant of Many Mouths. Spawn at any empty location. I'll put him in. He's not a hunter. I'll put him in the middle so it's the longest possible time before I have to deal with him. No, I'll put him here, because I might need to take a loop back through the middle to avoid somebody at some point. Okay. And I've missed upkeep. Have I lost upkeep on my tracker? No? I managed to completely skip upkeep. So carving a resource now that I'm not in the middle. So I get Moonstone, which I can only play by discarding, and a resource. So it gives me 1 head and 1 foot, but I cannot play or commit it from my hand, and as a reaction after you discard it, you can play it, paying its cost. Interesting. Right, action 1. Let's get investigating. I've got my lantern, so that brings the shroud down to 2, but my investigate is only 2. Last chance will only give me a boost of 2, because I'll have 3 in my card, 3 hands in my card, 3 cards in my hand if I play it. Manual dexterity does nothing. Bury them deep will give me a 1. So I could just go in with a 2 on a 2 thanks to the lantern. Or I think I might draw in the hope that I get something that will boost my investigating. It's hiding spot. As a fast action, I can attach it to any location. Any location, okay. Each non-elite enemy at that location gains aloof. That's going to be handy. Yeah. I mean, I could throw it there to make him aloof, but it will go away at the end. So I'll hang on to that. But that didn't help at all. So let's just dive in. A 2 on a 2 investigate thanks to the lantern. A 2 on a 2, and my first thing is a 0. So clue number 1. So my second action, my third action is I'm just going to do it again. 2 on a 2, plus 1. This is not a good sign. Things are going well. Now then, shall I take the reaction action now to draw that? It could be an enemy. So I think I'm going to leave that action to the start of the next investigator phase. There are no hunter enemies in play, no enemies to attack. Upkeep cards. Nothing too ready. Just bear with me, I'm just going to update my tracker. Card and a resource. It's Pete. Right, Doom. That flips to 2 out of 6. And an encounter card gives me Resurgent Evils. I must choose one. But it's peril, so I can't talk to you about it. Don't help me. Hello, Smega. I think that's you. I can only see the word this. Right, peril. Revelation, you must either choose one, draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, or place a Doom on the agenda. Ouch. I think I'm going to place a Doom. I'm a chicken. Otherwise I could be swamped trying to deal with multiple enemies I've just drawn, and it will slow the game down. Right, action 1. Let's take the free action to see what is under Bishop's Brook, and it's a Whippoorwill. So he's aloof, and he robs me of all of my skills while I'm sat here, and he's hunter, so he's going to follow me around. So I could take an action to engage him and then another one to kill him, just to avoid him, or I can just leg it to the next location. In which case he'll come and chase me anyway on the very next turn, so I think action 1, engage the Whippoorwill. Action 2, punch the Whippoorwill in the face. So I'm attacking him with a meat cleaver. Gives me a +1 fight, but the Whippoorwill robs me of a +1 fight, so I'm still attacking him with a 4. A 4 on a 2. 4 on a 2. Is the bag going to continue being good to me? 4 on a 2, -2. That's a pass. Whippoorwill is dead. So my second action was fight the Whippoorwill. My third action, I am going to move on to the general store. Right, and again, it's one of the original locations, not the return ones. So as an action, I can spend a clue. Sorry, spend a resource to search the top 3 cards for an item. And if there are no clues here, draw the encounter card. So that's my 3 actions done. kitty cat. New kitten is on the prowl. If he launches into the middle of this, it could be a disaster. Right, hunter enemies, there are none because I've just killed him. No enemies to attack. Nothing to ready. Card and a resource. Cornered, that's what we wanted. Cornered and a resource. Doom on the agenda, so that second one there flips to 2, so that's now 4 out of 6. And we draw an encounter card. It's another whippoorwill. Who shuffled these cards? Right, so my stats are robbed again, so it's going to be 2 actions again to get rid of the whippoorwill. So action 1, I'm going to pay 2 resources to pay cornered. If you're not familiar, for you as well, Smegger, seeing as you're not familiar with the game or the league, this is a chaos deck where rather than building the deck ourselves, it's completely randomized. And then we allowed ourselves some points of XP to upgrade the deck. So I made sure I got cornered in here. Cornered lets me discard a card from my hand to boost a skill check. So the idea being this deck is going to be full of rubbish with it being random. At least that lets me get some benefit out of the random cards. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to dispose of a cat. Come on, off. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Maybe I won't dispose of a cat. Maybe it will lodge itself on my shoulder and that'll give me a ridiculous moustache. You're not playing? No. Okay. So, action 1 was playing cornered. Action 2, this is slowing me down. Action 2, engage the whippoorwill. Action 3, fight the whippoorwill. So I'm doing 4 on a 2 again. I will, oh, I can't afford it yet. I was going to say I'll discard Moonstone, but I can't, can I? But that's going to help later. I will I suppose I could add Bury Them Deep actually. So I'll be doing 4, 5 on a 2, 5 on a 2. That's a fail. So that was my third action, wasn't it? I played cornered. I should have discarded a card to boost it by 2, shouldn't I? Oh well, bang goes an extra victory point. What are you doing, you crazy cat? Get off. Anyway. Hunter enemies move. Well, the whippoorwill is already here. He's engaged with me. That means he's going to attack me, doesn't it? Enemies attack, so I take a horror. Didn't think this through, did I? He stays put because he's not a hunter. Right, nothing needs readying. Card and a resource. Emergency cash. Get some free monies later and a resource. So I have 2 resources. I need 1 more resource to be able to play Moonstone. I also need 3 resources to be able to play Pete. I need these location effects out of the way, they're getting in the way now. Okay, need 1 for later. But anyway, now for some badness. We're now at 5 out of 6 Doom on the agenda. And we draw an encounter card, which is Strange Signs. Test a book of 3. If you fail, add a clue from the token pool to your location. 2 clues if there are 3 or 4 investigators. Well, book is my word skill. I have book of 2, but it's 1 thanks to Whippoorwill. Book of 1. I have nothing I can boost it by. So a test of me 2 on a test of 3. So unless I draw the +1, this is an automatic fail. So +1. It's +1. I passed. Wow, the Chaos Bag. Apart from that fight, the Chaos Bag has been surprisingly good to me today. Right. I don't need to re-engage the Whippoorwill because it's already engaged with me. Action 1, punch the Whippoorwill in the face. So I'm attacking with the meat cleaver, which gives me a +1, so I'm doing a 4 on a 2, -2, that's a pass. Meat cleaver is dead, not meat cleaver is dead, Whippoorwill is dead. As an addition, if this attack defeats an enemy, you may heal a horror. Okay, so that's action 1. Action 2, I'm going to play Emergency Quiche to gain 3 resources. And action 3, I will do an investigate of the general store. My investigation is 2. I will use Cornered to discard a card from my hand. I will discard Moonstone. Well, it doesn't go in the discard pile yet, so I'll use Moonstone to give me a +2. So that's investigating with a 4 on a 3. In fact, no, I'm investigating using Lantern and then using Cornered to discard a card. So Lantern brings that strike down to 2. So investigating with a 2 on a 2. I commit Moonstone to make it 4 on a 2. 4 on a 2, Cultist. That means -2, so that's a pass. So that gives me another clue. And when you discard Moonstone, you can pay its cost. This is the only way of playing this card. It's a strange one. You can only play it from your discard pile. So that now gives me +1 head, +1 evade. I had to pay 3 obviously for it. So I've lost track now. Was that my second action or my third action? I killed the Whippoorwill. I investigated. That's all I've done, isn't it? We are down to 0 clues. I'm going to reveal what is hiding in the general store, and it is on Wings of Darkness. Test evade of 4. If you fail, take a damage and a horror. Five and a 4. My evade is now 4, thanks to Moonstone. Okay, shall I test it? 4 and a 4. Shall I commit? I could commit hiding spot. No, I'll commit manual dexterity. 4, 6 on a 4. 6 on a 4, we have a 0, so that's a pass. And if that was a successful test, I draw a card. Provided weapon is back again. Right. Wings of Darkness goes away. And now my third action, I will move on to the schoolhouse. Shroud of 4, 1 clue to find. This is one of the new locations, okay. After you discover a clue from this location, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Servant of Many Mouths and draw it. Then shuffle the encounter deck. Okay. So there's 1 clue here. As soon as I discover it, one of these will come out. If I draw it, he spawns at an empty location, so I could shove him down here somewhere. Although defeating him lets you discover a clue at any location, so I could use him to discover a clue at a high shroud location. We shall see. Anyway, okay. That was my third action anyway, moving to the schoolhouse, wasn't it? Hunter enemies move. We have no hunter enemies in play. No enemies to attack because there's no one in my location. Nothing to ready. Gain a card. Trench knife and a resource. So that's 2 of the cards I mulliganed at the beginning have both just come out. Good shuffling. Told you they all end up back together in the middle of the day. Right, doing on the agenda, that takes us to 6 out of 6, so the agenda advances. I didn't even read this, did I? Your welcome in Dunwich has been cold. A string of disappearances has left the already aloof townsfolk on edge. Most of them look at you with distrust, and a few are willing to help with your investigation. Who knows what will happen if you don't find the location of the missing townsfolk soon? Whippoorwills gather along the gambrel roofs of Dunwich and begin to shriek in jubilation. The people of Dunwich believe that the presence of whippoorwills foreshadows somebody's imminent death. Do they long for your death, or is the victim someone else? If there are 3 or more potential sacrifices, we still have our full 5. Choose one at random and place it under the agenda without looking at it. So, luckily none of these are my allies, these are just the story assets from the game, so we will put that one under the agenda. Right, agenda 2, the old one's hunger. As the sun sets, the frightened townsfolk retreat into their homes and lock their doors. It is clear to you that many of them know more than they are letting on. A sickening feeling turns over in your stomach as the village's true nature becomes clear. Right, so we have 6 more. Right, encounter card. I get Psychopomp Song. This is nasty. Revelation. Add it to any investigator's threat area. When you would take 1 or more damage, take 2 additional damage and discard it. But it has Surge, which means I draw another one, and if it's another Psychopomp, I'm not going to be happy. It's a Servant of Many Mouths. Spawn in any empty location. So he's fight of 3. I'm fighting currently with 5 if I use my meat cleaver. I think what I might do, this is crazy, I might move on to House in the Reeds, put the servant there, and then when I kill him just use it to discover that clue. At the moment I'll be investigating with my investigation is only a 2, which could be, Lantern will drop that shroud to a 3. A 2 on a 3 is still pretty much impossible. There's only a 1 token in there, there's only 1 + 1. So I'll move him there. Okay. Right, action 1. I'm going to move here, so the Servant of Many Mouths engages me. Action 2, let's punch the Servant of Many Mouths in his many mouths with the meat cleaver. So that's a fight of +1. I will choose to take a horror to make it do extra damage if it's successful. So I'm fighting with a 4, fighting with a 5. I'll commit Trench Knife to make it 6 on a 3. 6 on a 3, and we have a skull. -1 for each location in play with no encounter card under it, so that's 3. 6 - 3 is a 3. That's a pass. So I have killed, he only has 2 health. Because I took the horror, the meat cleaver does an extra damage, so that's 2 damage. That kills him, and because it defeated an enemy, it heals a horror. And now what I have been forgetting is Yorick's ability, but I can only play an asset from my discard pile when it kill a character, and I haven't got any. Okay, so action 1 was move, action 2 was kill. I haven't revealed the location. 2 shroud, it's another basic location. I was hoping to see more of the new ones, but never mind. 1 clue per investigator. While you're in House in the Reeds, you cannot play events. I didn't play an event, did I, to defeat the Servant of Many Mouths? I just attacked him with a meat cleaver, so I didn't break any rules there. Oh, and also when you defeat Servant of Many Mouths, you can discover a clue at any location, so I'll discover that one. So I moved, I fought, so now I'm on action 3. I will discover I will investigate my lantern. Investigate with my lantern, that brings the shroud down to 1. I'm investigating with a 2 on a 1. Oh, shall I save it till next go and play? Yeah, I'm not going to investigate. I'm going to pay the 3. 1, 2, 3, and get Peter into play. So just like the Moonstone, Peter also gives me a +1 head and +1 evade. So I'm now on 5 of each. So I should be okay for evasion. So that was my third action. Hunter enemies move. There are no hunter enemies in play. No enemies to attack. There's no enemy at my location. Nothing to ready. Draw a card and a resource. We have resourceful and the resource. Doom on the agenda. 1 out of 6 again. And an encounter card. Hunting Knight Gaunt. So he is a hunter. He's engaged with me because there are no spawn instructions, and while attempting to evade him, double the negative modifier of each revealed chaos token. He has health of 4. Okay. This has changed my plans somewhat, so now I have some fighting to deal with. Although it could be an opportunity to get rid of Psychopomp if I let him hit me. Remember, I cannot play events. So I cannot play Hiding Spot and I cannot play Improvised Weapon, but that's fine because I've got my meat cleaver in hand. So action 1, I will take a horror, which I will give to Peter because he's a hardy fellow, and I will fight the Knight Gaunt with the meat cleaver. So I'm attacking with a 5 against his 3. Is there anything in my... I haven't got any survivor cards in my discard pile yet, so resourceful is no good. Okay, 5 and a 3. -3, -2, that's a pass. So that's 2 damage to the Knight Gaunt. I shall do it again. I'll take the horror this time. 5 and a 3. Now get Peter. 5 and a 3. Hang on a second. 5 and a 3. I'll discard Improvised Weapon using cornered to make it 7 on a 3. +1. Didn't need it anyway. Okay, so he's dead. No bonus for killing him, no victory points. Well, that's 2 actions used up. I still don't have any assets in my discard pile, so I can't trigger Yorick's special ability. So 3rd action. Shall we investigate? Let's investigate. So that's 2. Investigate with the lantern, that brings that down to 1, so it's 2 on a 1. Let's throw last chance in. I can always use resourceful to get it back later. That's a skill, not an event. I just didn't play that event, did I? I used Moonstone, so I'm still not breaking any rules. Okay, I will use this skill card, so that gains, it loses a wild symbol for each card in your hand. I have 2 cards remaining in my hand, so it loses 2, so that's a +3. That's a minus shroud, 1 shroud, so that brings that down to 1. So I'm investigating with 5, 2 + 3 against a 1. So 5 on a 1 to get this last 5 on a 1, 0. That's a pass. So it's 2 actions to fight and 1 action to investigate. I could do the free action now to reveal that thing. It's a 1 in 3 chance of it being a bad thing, because one of these 3 is the key and one of these 3 is the locked chamber. Well, it doesn't cost me an action or anything. I'm going to save the reveal to the next turn, just to be on the safe side. Hunter enemies move. There are none in play. No enemies attack because there's none at my location. Nothing to ready. Card and a resource. Another lantern. Doom. So we're now at 2 out of 6. And an encounter card. Resurgent Evils. Draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck or place a Doom on the current agenda. What's the 3rd agenda look like? That's a 7, isn't it? So I've got 7, 8 turns to get into the chamber and defeat what's his face. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to draw the top 2 cards. 1, attach Sordid and Silent to your location. And 2, Eager for Death, test head of 2. Increases in difficulty for each damage on you. Well, my head is now 3, 4, 5. So it's a 5 on a 2 test. 5 on a 2 test, and I'll use Cornered to commit to discard Lantern to make it a 7 on a 2 test, just to give me some bonus. 7 on 2. Elder Thing is -3, so that's a pass. Well, that played out quite well, actually. Right, so free action to reveal what is under the house in the reeds. It is the key. Okay, so I have control of the key. So I need to go here and I need to go here. For efficiency, if I go that way, I can't. I'm going to have to go this way, aren't I? That's ready to be revealed. So action 1, I will move. Servant of Many Mouths engages me. Oh, Peter healed a horror at the end of the last turn. Sorry about this glare. I'm going to try changing the lights. Let's put one of these around, put a bit more from this side. Hopefully that's not too dark. But I'm casting shadows across the table now, as the lights are all over there. Right, okay, so what was I doing? I've got the key, that's the free action there. For action 1, move here. reveal the he engages me, reveal a location, there is one clue, and again it's another one of the original locations. So out of all of those, I only drew one of the new locations. Right, so one clue to find. Servant of many mouths engaged me, so I will fight the servant with my meat cleaver. I will take a horror on Peter to increase its damage. So I'm attacking with a 4, 5 on a 3. 5 on a 3. I'll commit to resourceful to make it. Oh, that should be in there, shouldn't it? 5 plus 6 on a 3. 6 on a 3. Let's go 6 on a 3. Zero. So he's defeated. After you defeat him, you can discover a clue at any location. I'll discover that one. So we've gone from 5 to 6. I can play. I don't need another lantern. I've already got my hands full. 1 meat cleaver, 1 lantern. So I'm going to forsake Yorick's special ability after killing an enemy to play an asset, because the only 2 I've got I can't use. Would be useful if I'd thrown the lantern at him to destroy him. Never mind. Sorry, I can't see who that is. How goes the game? Well, it's going all right actually. Too well, I'm afraid. I think something terrible is about to happen. Right, okay, so action 1, killed the servant of many mouths. No, action 1 was move, or was that the last turn? Action 1 was moving and it engaged me. Yeah, I think I am doomed now, yes. So action 1, was it this turn I moved? I think it was, wasn't it? So action 1 was move, action 2 was fight, action 3, if I've wasted an action, I'm sure my colleagues will let me know in the league. Action 3, well no, let's take the free action of seeing what is under here. If it's the hidden chamber, I don't need to go back there. It's not the hidden chamber, it's Resurgent Evils. Draw 2 encounter cards or place a doom. I'm going to chicken out and place the doom. So that's now at 3 out of 6, which gives me roughly 7, 8, 9 turns probably to finish the game. And then my third action, I need to head over there to find the chamber. So third action, let's move to the middle. Oh, but if I move to the middle, I don't get to draw. Oh no, you cannot take draw or resource actions. It doesn't stop me getting the upkeep. That's okay. Right, hunter enemies move. We have none. Enemies attack. There are none. I've killed them all. Oh, and because I committed that resourceful and passed the test, I should have been able to pull a survivor card back into my hand, so I shall pull the last chance back. Right, no enemies to attack, nothing to ready, card and a resource, and I get my weakness, Chronophobia. I think I can live with that for what's left in the game. I'll take the resource as well, that would help, wouldn't it? Doom, that now goes to 4 out of 6. And an encounter card. Unhallowed country, put it in your threat area. You cannot play ally assets. I don't want to play ally assets. But treat the printed text box of each ally asset you control as if it were blank. Okay. That means, mind you, he healed horror at the end of the last turn, which means I don't get the boost from Peter. I still get the boost from Moonstone. I can still use Cornered. So it's just literally just Peter. And that wasn't blank at the end of the last turn, so he was able to heal that. Okay. Action 1. I need to get up there and reveal the hidden chamber. I've got last chance, so that will help me with this. I also have Cornered. So let's, action 1 will move. Take the free action to see what is under here, and we know it must be the hidden chamber. Put the hidden chamber into play. The hidden chamber and the location from which it was drawn are connected to each other. The door to the hidden chamber is locked. You cannot enter unless the key to the chamber is attached. And if the hidden chamber is connected to your location, which it now is, attach the key to the hidden chamber. So there, the door is now unlocked. And we advance the act when we enter the hidden chamber. So it was, all I've done so far is one action, isn't it? I moved here. That was a free action to reveal the hidden chamber. That was all just reactions to unlock it. So action 2. Do I move into the hidden chamber? I think I do. Action 2. Move into the hidden chamber. When an investigator enters the hidden chamber, advance the act. You find your way into the hidden chamber where you believe the missing folk are being held, but the horrors that confront you there fray the edges of your sanity. Bound by chains in a secluded corner of the room is an unspeakable creature with the face of a man. It wheezes and wrestles to free itself as it notices your entrance. The many mouths covering the creature's body are covered in blood and gristles of meat, as though it were feeding recently. With hideous croak, and as my voice croaks, the creature speaks with 7 mouths. Serve. Then it lurches forward as though to grab you, and several of its chains snap. Reveal each unrevealed location. There are none. Move all clues in play, including those on each investigator, to the hidden chamber. So that's 6 clues on the hidden chamber. Spawn the set-aside Silas Bishop enemy in the hidden chamber. So, Act 2, the Chamber of the Beast. The pitiful beast lunges to grab you with his slimy arms, its many jaws snapping in hunger. Killing it would be merciful, but perhaps there is something else to discover about the creature. So we have 2 objectives. We either clear the room of clues, or we kill Silas Bishop. So, Silas Bishop is classed as massive, so he's engaged with me, but he's engaged with everybody at the same time, but he cannot make attacks of opportunity. He does 2 damage and 2 horror with each attack. Thanks to the Psychopomp, that first hit will be 4 damage, 2 horror. It's basically going to take 3 meat cleaver hits to kill him, isn't it? Or if I investigate, my investigation is, so that's a shroud of 2 thanks to the lantern, so I'm investigating with a 2 on a 2. I don't think I've got a much better chance of fighting. Okay, so my third action is, I think, do I duck back out? No, I think I'm just going to get the first hit in. So I'm going to attack with the meat cleaver, taking horror, which I can't put on Peter because he won't heal it this turn. I'll take that myself. So I'm attacking with 4, 5. His fight is 3, 5. I shall use cornered to discard hiding spot to boost it by 2. So I'm going with 7 on a 3. Seven on a 3. Doesn't have retaliate or anything. No. 7 on a 3. Elder Sign. So Elder Sign is +2, so that's 9 on a 3. So that's a success. So I hit, stick 2 damage on to Silas. Because if this test is successful, I can return a card from my discard pile to my hand. No enemies left in play unless I draw one. So I could bring Bury Them Deep back to possibly get an extra victory point. Hiding spot's no good. Resourceful lets me bring another survivor card back to my hand. I've already got a lantern in my hand. I think I'll bring back Bury Them Deep, just to give me the option of gaining an extra victory point. Right, that's my third action. Hunter enemies move, there are none. Enemies attack, so... oh, hang on, sorry. At one hallowed country, I have to test head of 3. My head is 3, 4 thanks to Moonstone, and I'll play Last Chance, which is a +5 -1 for each card left in my hand. I only have 1, so it's a +4. So I'm doing a 3, 4, 7 on a 3 to test one hallowed country. 7 on a 3, -4. That is just a pass. Wow. So that goes. I have Chronophobia, so at the end of my turn I take a horror. Not taking any damage yet, but now the enemies attack. So he does 2 damage and 2 horror. I will give 1 horror to Peter, 1 horror to me. And then 2 damage, thanks to Psychopomp, becomes 4 damage. Wow. But Psychopomp goes now. I think that's right. Yeah, take 2 additional damage and discard Psychopomp Song. Peter is now back in action, now that I've got rid of whatever that was. Right, ready cards, nothing to ready. Card and a resource, that gets me a guard dog. Well, I've already got an ally in play, so that's no good, but at least I can use the corner to boost my skills with him. Doom, we go to 5 out of 6. And an encounter, and it's an enemy, but he spawns at any empty location. I could spawn it here and then perhaps pop out, kill him, come back, because if I kill him I can use Bury Them Deep to get a victory point. Yeah, pop in there. Right, action 1. Do I save Silas for later? Or do I... yeah, I think I do actually. So action 1, let's move out here and engage the Servant of Many Mouths. I shall now hit him with the Meat Cleaver. Because I'm now at 3 sanity, I can... boost my attack. I need to take another horror. This could get dangerous actually. I'm going to be taking a horror thanks to this as well. Let's think this through. If I kill him, on the second attack I get to heal a horror, or if I kill him in one go I get to heal one horror. That's true, I'll be back at 3 then, won't I? If I kill him. But I've got cards to commit. Right, okay, so I will take an extra horror to boost my meat cleaver. So I'm attacking +2 because I'm on 3 fewer sanity. So I'm 4, 5, 6. 6 on a 3. I will use Cornered, to discard a card from my hand to boost me by 2. So I'm now at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on a 3. 8 on a 3. 0. So I kill him. Because I killed him with my meat cleaver, I heal a horror. Because I killed him, I discover a clue on a location. Not that it matters. As a fast action, I will play Bury Them Deep to give me a victory point for him. So this was my second action, wasn't it? I moved out, I fought. Also, William's action, I could play a asset from my discard pile, but I don't think I've got anything I want. So I've used 2 actions, haven't I? So unfortunately I don't have enough actions left to get rid of Chronophobia. I will be having to take a direct horror. So basically I need to kill Silas Bishop on the next round or get rid of Chronophobia, otherwise I am dead. Something like that. Right, so for my third action, what shall I do? My third action, I have no cards left. I don't think I did that, did I? Forced, after you discover a clue from this location. Is it classed as discovering a clue when you find it through killing a servant of many mouths? Yes, the word is discover, so there should be another servant of many mouths in play. For what it's worth, I'll just put it down there. It's not Hunter, so it's not going to have made any difference. Right, my third action, what am I going to do? If I go back in there, he hits me for 2 of each, and I don't get to do anything first. If he hits me with 2 of each, that's like 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8, and 5 out of 6. I think that's too close for comfort. So I am just going to draw 1 card, and hope it's something that will help me. It's a shuffle. Well, I am a grave digger after all. Hunter enemies move, there are no hunter enemies in play. Enemies attack, they are not at my location. Nothing to ready. Card on a resource. Resourceful. Right, Doom. That takes us to 6 out of 6. The agenda advances. More whippoorwills flock to Dunwich village as the night progresses. The other townsfolk, notoriously superstitious, are terrified by the bird's presence. If there are 2 or more potential sacrifices, choose one of them at random and place it under the agenda without looking at it. So now we have 2 potential sacrifices under the agenda. The rhythmic screeching of the whippoorwills fills the night. If the superstitions of Dunwich are correct, their song portends impending death. But for whom? Oh wow, this is an hour 12, I do apologise. Thank you for following. Codab Games. Thank you, Codab Games. Okay, encounter. Sword in the Silence attached to your location. At the end of the round, each investigator at this location takes a horror. When the agenda advances, discard it. So actually that one should have gone away just now. That's easy enough, simple enough. Right, action 1. I'm just going to dive in and punch twice. And hopefully that's that. Action 1, move. Action 2, punch Seth in his many mouths. I'm attacking with 4. Do I take a horror? Do I risk it? Yeah, take a horror to boost the meat cleaver. So attacking with 4, 5, 6. And I will use cornered to discard the grave digger's shovel to make it 7, 8. 8 on a 3. 8 on a 3. Minus 2. That's a pass. So that now goes to 4 damage. Do I hit him now? If I just need to hit him again, I just need to hit him again. But let's work this out. If I fail, I take a damage. If I fail, he hits me for 2 of each, which puts me at 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3, 4, 5, 6. That kills me. I can put 1 on Peter, but then at the end of my turn I take a direct horror. This is risky now. If I move there, I take a horror. But actually, if I move there, at the end of my turn, Peter heals 1, and then he gets 1 from Sword in the Silence. I moved in, I did 1 hit. Do I do it? Do I go for it? There are, I can't remember how many tokens in the bag. If I go 4. Five, 6. Use corner to throw in resourceful to make it 7, 8 on a 3. There is a -5 in that bag. There is a tentacle in that bag. We know the tentacle will come out at this one moment I need it, because if I don't kill him now, I die. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to move out here. My turn ends, Peter heals. Hunters move, there are none in play. Enemies attack, there are no enemies. Everything readies. Card and a resource. Painkiller. End of the round. I gain a horror from Sword in the Silence, which I put straight back on Peter. Doom, 1 out of 7. Draw an encounter card. Strange Signs test book of 3. If you fail, add a clue from the token pool to your location. Doesn't matter, does it? 2 of 3. Skull, fail. Put a clue from the token pile on my location. No big. Right. Action 1, move. Action 2, we go 4, we take a horror to boost my meat cleaver, so that makes it 6. I use corner to discard painkillers to add 2, so we're going 8 on a 3. Other side! Unbelievable! That's it. Bishop is dead. 2 victory points. So, objective: if Silent Bishop is defeated, resolution 1. So, what does that mean? Resolution 1. As you land the finishing blow, the creature's body explodes into hundreds of squirming rope-like appendages wiggling across the ground and climbing up the walls. You're so startled you aren't fast enough to prevent them escaping the room. Even so, whatever that creature was, you're glad it's now dead. So we put Silas out of his misery. Under Sacrificed to Yog-Sothoth, we record the names of each unique card under the agenda deck. Each of those cards are removed from all players' deck and can no longer be included. So we've lost 2. No one had the Necronomicon, and we earn victory points plus 2 bonus XP. So victory points, it's literally just 3. 1 for Bury Them Deep, but that doesn't count for league point purposes, and 2 for Silas. Seems quite stingy after playing some of the later games. Never mind. There we go. So, resolution 1. 2 sacrifices. Yeah, that's it. Resolution 1, 2 sacrifices, 2 victory points, 1 bonus for Bury Them Deep, 2 bonus from XP from the resolution text. Cool. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that hasn't been too tortuous. Good old William Yorick, scraped through by the skin of his teeth, actually would have healed one of those horror from killing Silas with the meat cleaver. So 4 of each out of 8 and 6 on his health. Cool. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. And we shall see you in a couple of weeks for the next Chaos scenario. Thank you. Goodbye.